Hello, welcome back. This is going to be a very quick energy check-in and pick a card, just finding out what has shifted or changed after this last full moon that happened yesterday. And this is a timeless read, so whenever you come across this, it's going to apply for you. We're not really going to have cards, so just go ahead and pick pile 1 or 2. Just the numbers 1 or 2 for your message. Okay, so for those who picked number 1, what has recently shifted for you? 5 of Pentacles in reverse. This is amazing because this is that lack mentality, that feeling left out, feeling alone, feeling abandoned, whether that's emotionally or physically. Maybe you just had a lot of financial burdens or a lot of material burdens and just feeling like you don't know how to handle them, or you're really facing them alone, like you could really use some help but you don't have it. So it's the end of that energy, thankfully. And I feel like you did the work on your own to heal the lack mindsets and the lack mentality and the beliefs of anything that went along with that to help, like anything that caused you to believe you couldn't have it or it's hard to come by, anything like that. You did the work to let go of these beliefs, but this full moon helped you to finally like wash everything away. It's like if you're trying to clean, or not clean, let's say there's a bunch of beached sea creatures and you're trying to help them back into the ocean, and you're helping, like you're making progress, but there's still so many, and then a big wave comes and just sweeps them all for you. So it's that energy of like you've been helping and doing the work and doing all you could, but then energetically there's this powerful force that has helped you finally make that last sweep to end that cycle. And you're getting ready to replace all that you lost with new. You had to go a while with like that in between, like, you know, when you lose something or when the universe takes something from you, it's always going to be replaced by something better, or you're going to always find out why. Of course, I'm not trying to talk about like the loss, like the death of someone close, because that's a whole other thing. But I'm just trying to say the general idea of trusting that if something is taken from you, it's going to come back in a better way. Like if you lose a job, a relationship, you thought that was the one, but then something way better comes in its place. So, but the in-between can sometimes feel a little long, and that's what I'm seeing for you. It was like between the time you had to let go or had this thing or these things taken from you until you actually get the replacement, there was this lag and kind of this emptiness where you were in that left out energy. But in that energy, you did so much transformation on yourself, like so much inner work. You could have, like for example, let's say somebody didn't get the chance to go to school and so they don't, or to college, so they don't feel as far progressed as their peers who are now graduating with their degrees. But whatever this person did instead, like whatever, maybe they were struggling with like health issues or mental health issues and they had to focus all their time and energy there. So instead of feeling like they missed out on life or they didn't get to catch up in the way that their peers did, the things they learned in that time, it's more than they could have learned and more life experience they could have gained if they would have been doing the same thing as their peers. So it's like the understanding that no time was wasted, no effort was wasted, no time spent alone was wasted. You weren't missing out, or it was like the work that was done in that in-between stage was so important and so vital for the rest of your life. So, but now that's over, which is why it's such good news, which is why I'm so happy to be the one telling you. But I feel like you've felt this as well. Like you knew this was coming and you felt it getting closer and closer. It was something you couldn't ever really predict, but you just knew if you kept working towards it, you would eventually get there. So the Fool and 10 of Wands in reverse. Literally, this is everything that didn't go right, that didn't go your way, you're gonna actually be thankful for now. Even if at one point you trusted, like, this is really hard to let go of. I know I trust it's for a good reason, but I just can't feel it. But now you're gonna actually feel it. So this is just, this pile, those who picked it, it's full of surrender and like the bliss that comes from that, the peace that comes from surrender after fighting for so long, or after just working so hard towards something, and then you finally make it and you're finally here. So you could be noticing rainbows, by the way, and I just noticed how this tie-dye and this tie-dye kind of go together. And recently where I live, there was like 2 rainbows in the past week. So rainbows could be a special sign or message for this group. That is all I'm getting, just that general message for you. This is going to be short, like I said. So thank you so much for watching, and if you're not already excited, you should be. All right, now let's do pile 2. Those who pick pile 2, or if you pick both. Okay, just fell. Okay, so what shifted for you? This is something that's still shifting, which is a little bit confusing, but hold on. This is something, it's taking place right now, but in a, hang on, let me, before I continue and confuse. Okay, it's something that seems on the outside like it could be interpreted as bad, not bad, but as negative, or like, oh, that's gonna be a problem, that's gonna be something I have to deal with. It's like that type of energy. Okay, here's the thing. There have been certain sabotages in your life, is what I'm hearing. Certain things made to fool you, to trick you, to throw you off, to confuse you. It's kind of like if you're doing everything right and you're doing really well and you're progressing really well, and people who don't want to see that trying to trip you up and be like, that's not how you're supposed to do it, you're going to regret doing it this way. And it's like all this energy of trying to throw you off. And I feel like that's the thing that's shifting, but it hasn't like overnight instantly shifted. It's more so it's this continual process, but it's happening now. Maybe you've been waiting for it. Like these things that seemed annoying or bothersome in your life, it's like you're gonna win somehow, or you're gonna come out the other side on top. And it seems like a problem. Okay, here's what I'm getting. Someone tries to make a problem for you. Initially, you're like, I don't want to have to deal with this. But the truth of it is they've just made a problem for themselves. So the guidance for you is to not attach to, like, let people dig their own grave is what I'm hearing. Because that's what people do when they come for you. They're digging their own grave. Let them dig it and fall into it and be buried in it. Like, you don't even pay them any mind, any attention. These annoyances, these things trying to throw you off your path first, let it be confirmation that you are on the right path and you are doing something very powerful. And those who can sense it and those who really are triggered by that and really don't want that to happen, they're working full time. They're doing everything to stop it, and they can't even make a dent in it. Like, there's nothing they can do, which is why they're losing it. They're actually losing it right now. So just know, I feel like this pile needs some confidence that you are doing the right thing. You are on the right path. It is what you think it is. You're not being fooled. You're not being tricked. You can trust yourself. That's the biggest way that people who try to bring you down are going to try and attack you, is by making you think you cannot trust yourself, by making you doubt yourself or second guess yourself. That's the only power they have, is to try and trick you into doubting yourself. But if you don't, they have nothing. And it feels like you've been dealing with this on your own. It's like the power has shifted. Like before, it may have felt very overwhelming, all this energy attacking you and going against you. But because you didn't choose to see it as, it's like in your mind, you made it smaller and smaller. You're like, I'm not going to give attention to it. I'm not going to treat this thing like it has power, like it's this big monster in my life. I'm not going to look at it like that. It's just a little annoying fly I can swat away. And the more you shifted your mindset to seeing it that way, it actually became that, because again, that's the type of power you're working with, which is why everyone else is so triggered, because you're changing their life. They're choosing to be these side characters in your life. They could be the main character in their own story, but they're choosing instead to be side characters in yours. And they're upset that they're not the main person. Well, they could be, but they're choosing not to. They're investing everything into your story, and all they ever get is like a little extra part, you know? But it's like they're shrinking, they're being drained, all their power. And it feels like at this point, the power has shifted so much, and it's like, I don't know, I'm hearing like they're dying off. There's just a few more dying off, a few more left to die off, and it'll be done. Like it's not even, there's not even any energy or effort it's demanding on your part. It's like, just let them bury themselves. So that is all I'm getting for you. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.